Hi, everybody. It is Diane Neto living in Barrie. And today I want to talk a little bit about power of sales because I'm not sure everybody really understands how it works. Now, there are two different types. There is the type where a financial institution actually does the power of sale. They start the process. They send the all the paperwork and all the information to a lawyer, and the lawyer then takes over. Once the lawyer takes over, the bank has nothing to say about any of it. You do send all the information. So I've done power of sales and listed them for TD and CIBC. And I've also done a private, which is the second type. So if somebody holds a private mortgage, the mortgagee can actually start the process. So they have to go to court and they have to get the power of sale order from a court, which they can do. The difference is with a bank power of sale, I have to do comparables. I have to show all this information. It's a pretty rigorous process for them to pick a price. Pick a price. They have never ever used the first price that I've given them. So if a bank doesn't get the value that the mortgagor, like the owner, believes is true fair market value, they can get sued. Because whatever is over and above what the bank is going to take out, the owner gets that money back. So if there's 100,000 left after the bank takes back the mortgage and all the fees, then they get it back. So they can be sued. So they always go with a higher number to start with. So power sale is never, especially when it first comes out, it's never a great deal. Then every 30 days, you have to do another comparison, what's sold, what's going on in the neighborhood. You have to redo everything again, and they'll decide on a price drop. They usually go like 15, 20,000 at a time, normally. But this is usually after 30 to 60 days. Some banks, and you got to remember, it's the lawyer dealing with it now, right? It's not the bank. The lawyer makes huge fees, $40,000 or $50,000, plus the interest arrears. So all of those things get charged back to the owner of the house, and the lawyer, like, they take all that money out and give you what's left over. I have heard from some that they will never take the first offer that comes in because they want to prove, if it goes to court, that they will and have tried to get fair market value and the most they could get for the house. So once the bank takes over, they come and they put locks on the doors, and whatever inside stays inside. I actually had to stop one property management company from locking the doors when the cat and the bird was inside. Because once they give you the notice and they say, we're coming to lock it up, they don't call you ahead of time and say, okay, we're on the way. So my client's animals were left inside. I did call the lawyer. They did stop him until 6 p.m. so she could get everything out. So once they lock you out and they start the process of, getting the realtor, selling the property, and it takes a long time for this whole process to work itself out. Normally, when a power of sale is sold, it's as is, where is. So nothing is happening there. As far as whatever you see is what you get. They don't guarantee appliances. They don't guarantee anything. You have to buy it the way it is. Now, I have had where a water test came back bad, and unless you have potable water in a property, they can't get a mortgage. So they actually put in a UV system for my buyer so that, he could obtain a mortgage. The other thing is, on a private power of sale, a lot of these things do not apply. Now, it still would be as is, where is, but you can actually negotiate a little bit more about, well, this is, wrecked, or this is wrecked. And it's not usually the chattels like the fridge, the stove, but if there's a major problem somewhere, sometimes there is a bit of negotiating room. Second of all, with a private mortgage holder power of sale. They pick the price. You're not sending comparables. You're not doing all this big rigmarole. They're not dropping the price automatically every 30 days. And it's a different negotiation with a private power of sale. Like, you can negotiate more. And plus, they're picking the price they want. It's not the price and the money that's owed to them. Like, they try to get usually more than that. I've done private power of sales, and I found it was difficult. Like, they'll leave it sit there forever, listed at a price. I don't really understand the philosophy of it, but I guess they're just trying to get more money. And the private power of sale, it's not the same as far as many lawyer fees and stuff. So because they actually do the work. So the bank, they're hiring a lawyer to do the work, right? And you have to pay the lawyer to do that. But in general, when it's a private guy, he'll just get a realtor. There's still lawyer fees, don't get me wrong. There's still fees, but it's not as bad. The other thing is, if your house does go power of sale, you can never buy another house unless you pay back what the shortfall was. So if there's a shortfall and the house sells and there's 20,000 shortfall, meaning the purchase price didn't make up everything the bank was owed. If that happens, then until you actually pay it back, you could never get another mortgage. It comes off your record in 7 years if you go bankrupt or, you lose a house and stuff. But unfortunately, the debt stays there always. So I hope this helps to explain a little bit about power sales, because when they first come out, normally they're not a deal. They can't be a deal because the bank has to prove that they've done their due diligence. And the process does take months. And if you do go into power of sale, like if you start getting notices, talk to a realtor before you're right at the end, because I did sell that house that my client, they were going to lock up, and I actually got more money than what they ended up selling it for 2 months later. And the lawyer wouldn't accept the deal. The bank had nothing to do with it. I was calling the CEO of TD, okay? I was so mad because I had sold the house. She would have had a little bit of money left over. It ended up being a shortfall. There wasn't even enough to pay for everything. They got a real estate agent from Toronto. Royal LePage has this contract, I guess, with TD. And they actually sold it lower than I already had. But I sent it to the lawyer, and the lawyer refused to accept the deal, because the lawyer loses his $50,000 in fees, by the way. If he doesn't have to go through this whole process and do all this, then he doesn't get the money. So he turned it down. So you can't wait till the last minute to try to, get yourself out of the weeds. You got to get ahead of it, because when we're dealing with the bank probably would have took that. But once it gets into the lawyer's hands, you're toast. I hope this helps you, because I do have a lot of experience in power sales. If you like my stuff, hit the like, hit the subscribe, or drop me a comment if there's something you'd like me to teach you about.